There's reality contains this vast picture that we only have a really small visual of, you could say. We're just so tuned into our physical reality here, and that's such a minute portion of the greater reality that exists that, that's a very interesting concept, and I think it really makes a lot of sense.
I agree with you, and they even talk about that when you hear about UFOs, where they say that, there's a UFO, and the fighter jets go and chase the UFO, and all of a sudden the UFO blinks out. And what they say is that the UFOs are blinking in from another dimension, and then when they're being chased, they blink out back into the dimension they come from.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, the interesting thing is, after I've read this book that we channeled, it all made sense.
Well,
it all made sense. Even though the concepts can be pretty wild, they make sense.
Yes, and it's very practical, too. I mean, it's not so far outside the box that it's hard to connect to it, but it's a very practical, and it validates so many other different spiritual teachings.
It does, and it really makes me feel good because I also listen to a lot of other spiritual teachings, and I spend time in front of YouTube listening to interviews with other spiritual people, and they also talk about the same things that are in our book. So it really validates it within me that, we are on the right track. This isn't a bunch of crap that we just pulled out of our subconscious.
Right.
And it's really good to hear other people talk about the same concepts that are in our book.
The wonderful thing about the book, too, is that our spirit guides really break these concepts down to a level that's really easy to understand. Because, some of these concepts may seem a little esoteric to some people who are not used to reading about this type of subject matter, but they break it down to a level where everyone can grasp their heads around it, where it really does make sense and it doesn't sound so out there after all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's how I felt when I was reading through it. It was very practical, actually. And now, do they mention, I can't remember if they mentioned that we tend to, well, obviously we've incarnated here at this time for a reason, partially to experience the many shifts that are here and on the way. But how does it work with soul groups? A lot of different people talk about that we will incarnate with various soul family members, and that we play different roles in different lifetimes. Sometimes one person will be the mother, and another time it will be the uncle or aunt or grandchild or something, and that we tend to come in together as groups to help each other out.
Yeah, they tell us that we do often come back with people that we're familiar with. We will choose the same family members, the same friends, and we'll reincarnate together, but we'll play out different roles, you can say. We're all actors in a play. We write the play, and we also choose the role that we're going to play. So this time around, Tina and I are sisters, but in a previous lifetime, we could have been husband and wife. We could have, she may have been my mother or my father. And we do this so that we can experience reality from different aspects. If we were to only have one life and only come here as this one person, then your experience is very, very limited, and it almost doesn't make sense. Why would we be here to just experience this one lifetime and then, move on to the forever after?
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense.
There's almost no purpose in it.
I never understood that one. It just never really resonated for me.
Yeah, and our guides tell us that there is no purpose to that. We need to come back here continuously because we want to experience reality from all the very many different aspects, and also that the source is experiencing reality through us. Because each and every one of us is a part of this energy field that is the source, that is God. And we are here having a physical experience on behalf of the source. They tell us that everything exists in concept only until we realize it through experience. So every single probability that could exist does exist, but the source wants to experience it as well, and that's what we're doing here. We are the source's representatives on Earth.
Now, doesn't that imply, too, that over a period of time, although for the source it would be all happening in no time, but that over a period of eternity, all of these various plays and lifetimes would start repeating themselves, wouldn't they?
Well, it would seem so, but our guides tell us that the possibilities are infinite. And that the answer is continually expanding, and that it will never end. And each probability creates new probabilities, and those new probabilities create new probabilities of their own. It continues to grow exponentially. It's like a mirror, when you have a mirror in front of a mirror in front of a mirror, and it just continues on and on and on and on.
Yeah, spooky.
It is spooky.
Now, isn't there a moment when we actually are able to transcend the wheel of life and death? I mean,
I think so.
It would seem so, wouldn't it?
Yes, it does. And I think that's part of the journey towards unconditional love, that when we reach a certain point, we don't need to reincarnate anymore. And I think light beings, I believe that light beings have reached that point where they no longer have to reincarnate onto this planet, and they've learned all their lessons and reached a level of unconditional love, and then they've moved on to another level. So that definitely makes sense to me.
Yeah, evolution exists in the greater reality as well. We here on Earth are going through an evolution as physical/spiritual beings, but there are many, many levels of reality and many levels of evolution. And our lifetimes here on Earth are just one of those levels of evolution within this particular reality.
Right. And of course, we may have other selves in other planetary systems, in other dimensions, and in other forms.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, our guides have told us that we have also existed not only as humans on Earth, but many of us have had incarnations on other planets as what we would term aliens. But there's a whole family of people out there. The universe is alive, is basically what our guides tell us. The universe is alive. We are not alone. And that part of our evolution is for the purpose of mankind reaching a certain state so that he can enter the galactic universe with his brothers and sisters and live in civil peace and cooperation with all of our other brothers and sisters on all the other planets throughout the universe. We just haven't reached that level yet.
Well, I sure can't wait until we do.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah, I think many of us are looking forward to that. I think it's about time.
Yes, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time. Hopefully it won't be too much longer.
No.
It'll be interesting to see what unfolds over the next few years, especially as we approach 2012. I think we all have ideas of what may happen, but none of us really know for sure until we actually get there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And according to the Mayan calendar, we just recently ended or moved out of the sixth day, and we're in the sixth night now, which goes, I think, until next October or November. So it's a different energy for sure. I started keeping a journal when the day of that shift, and I'm telling you, my life changed. It was like a light switch had turned, and all kinds of different things were right up in my face, good and bad. So it should be interesting to see what happens over the next few years. I think it's probably going to be one of the most exciting times ever.
I think so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, too. And our guides tell us that a lot of the people that are reincarnating on planet Earth at this time are reincarnating because of the change that's happening for mankind. We are all part of this exciting event that we're going through, this exciting evolution. And there's a part of me inside that's excited. There's a part of me inside that knows that something's happening, although on an intellectual, conscious level, I can't exactly put my finger on it.
Right.
Somewhere inside my soul, it's aware.
You can feel it on an energetic level.
Yeah. Well, I really like what they have to say in Chapter 14 about hell. And basically, they say there is no hell other than the hell that you've created for yourselves. And they talk a little bit about heaven. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yes. We want everybody to know that there is a heaven, and heaven is within the source, and it's our true home. And it's beautiful, and everything that exists on earth exists in heaven, but on a way grander and more wonderful scale. I think everybody will be happy to know that there is no hell. Hell does not exist. We're not going to go to hell. Now, having said that, if you believe you're going to go to hell because your thoughts create your reality, then when you die, your thoughts will create that reality. So really, people, hell doesn't exist. So don't believe you're going to go to hell. You're not. It exists within your mind. I mean, if you want to talk about hell, I think we've created hell right here on earth. We don't have to go to hell when we die.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Now,
yeah, but as Tina... Sorry, I just want to add that as Tina was saying, that's one thing that our guides do stress to us is that we affect this energy field not only here on Earth, but once we cross over to the other side, nothing changes that way. We are still creators on the other side as well. And if for some reason we've created this scary illusion of a hell that we're going to experience, then you will create that very illusion for yourself when you cross over. But if you do create that illusion for yourself, you are not there for an eternity. There are helpers on the other side that are there to help you to the light. But they say to us, also understand, though, that there is learning and experience there as well. If you're creating a hell for yourself to experience, there is learning in that experience as well. But you won't be there a lifetime. There's others that will help you through it. So just focus on heaven, and that's where you'll end up.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. But now, what about all the people who have spent many lives, and I mean not just this one, but many other lives, destroying humanity and doing crimes against humanity? Is there any kind of holding pattern for those souls that have been so destructive, or was that just a role that they had to play as part of Source's endless games?
You hit it right on the head there. That is a role that they played, because our guides tell us that we create our world, our reality en masse through cooperation. They tell us that reality is an illusion of collusion.
Yes.
So that tells you right there that we are all colluding to create this reality that we live in. So even wars, we all participate in the creation of wars. And even as horrific as wars are, they tell us that there are lessons to be learned in those wars. And hopefully we will learn those lessons sooner rather than later and end these wars that we really do not want to be involved in.
Yes. And what they tell us is that every person, every being is divine. So just because you came here and you took on the so-called evil role, it doesn't mean that once you cross over, you're looked at as an evil soul. All souls are divine, and all souls share the divine conscious energy of the source.
And what they do tell us is, yes, there is like a holding area that you go to after you leave this planet. If you've had that evil role, it's like a deprogramming. Let's call it a deprogramming.
It's like kind of a love chamber or something, isn't it?
Pardon?